All right, good evening, everybody. Trying a new software tonight, so hopefully y'all can hear me and see me and all that. Well, not see me, but hear me. Got a great show tonight. We're excited about Tim Berry being on. It's going to be a great episode tonight. Appreciate everybody tuning in. Get this thing shared out. Get as many people watching as you possibly can. See the chat's already lit up pretty nicely, so stick around. We'll get this thing going here in just a few minutes. All right, guys, got several watching already. It is now 2 after 8. Let's light this candle. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to HamShackTV Live. I'm your host, Josh, A4WX. Trying out some new software here tonight, guys. I don't know how this is going to look or how this is going to work, but I hope it works great. It's a little bit more on the professional side of things, so it allows me to do a whole lot more with the stream than I normally am able to do. So we got a great show coming up tonight. Really excited to bring Tim Berry, one of my mentors, icons, that kind of thing, onto the show, and that kind of thing. Quick update on the quest for 10,000 subscribers as I'm updating the screen now. 9,981 subscribers at this point. We are getting so close to 10,000, folks. We need 19 more. Maybe some of you watching are not subscribers yet. Go ahead and do that. When we hit that 10,000 mark, which I'm hoping is in the next day or two, assuming that happens in the next day or two, next Thursday night on our Christmas stream, I'm giving away an ICOM 7300. So make sure you've hit that subscribe button. Be sure to do that. Let's go ahead and bring in the crew tonight. Let's see if I can do this the right way. Yes, I did do it the right way. We got everybody in the house here. Well, with the exception of Dealer Dave. He's not feeling too well, so we gave him the night off. We have Michael, N3MFL, Tortoise Overland. From the Ham Radio Guy podcast, Marvin, W0MET. Hillbilly Ham, Super Dave, KE6GAE. Andy, N0APX, World Radio League product manager. Yeah. What is it that Jim Carrey's character said in the Truman Show? Good morning, good evening, or good afternoon, and good night, something like that. Anyway. And then the guest of honor, Tim Berry, WB4GBI. Good evening, fellas. So we'll go ahead and dive in again. We still looking for our 19 more subscribers. So if y'all aren't already subscribed, go ahead and do so. We're gonna. You're dang right about that. Forget the super chat. Hit the subscribe button. Hit that subscribe button. That's what we need. All right, I've got to see if I can make my chat button work that I've been working on here. Let's see here. Okay, there we go. And there we go. Now it's working. No audio from the panel. That's good. I don't want any audio from the panel, at least at that point. Let's see here. K8KAZ's in the house. This is a little slow animating. I don't know if I really like it. Jason Blaylock's in the house saying clipping. Again, guys, just experimenting with this new software. Hockey Ham, that would be Greg. Y'all have seen him on the channel before. Tim Berry needs to be cloned and distributed across the United States for all communities to enjoy the blessing of having him as a repeater owner in the area. Oh, goodness gracious. Gary Graham's in the house saying howdy, y'all. And I think that's got me caught up. One other here. This is just coming in. Big BTB. Good evening from K06 ISM. I kept wanting to say K0. But anyway, let's dive in on this. Let's see if I can figure out how to take this out. And there we go. New software, y'all. Bear with it. All right, let's get in with the. I did send some questions around to the panel. I don't know if they've still got that handy, but we can do this as natural as we can. So let's do a little introduction of Tim. Tim is. You're gonna probably sue me after this. Tim is legendary in East Tennessee. Let's just be very, very real about it. Very, very well-known broadcast engineer. Spent many years as chief engineer for the Vol Network. Was chief engineer of at least 3 Knoxville radio stations, one of which being the #1 country station, mid-market, time and time again with the CMA Awards. Chief engineer for several other stations on a freelance basis. But not only that, Tim, I think if I counted right last, you own 18 repeaters. Is that right? Close. Wow. That's incredible. But Tim is also a recent inductee into the Tennessee Broadcast Hall of Fame or Radio Hall of Fame? Yes. Not hearing Tim. I can tell. Hang on. I know what the problem is. Just a second. We can fix this, y'all. Bear with me. Now they should hear you.
Hear us, please?
Yeah, let us know.
Can you hear us?
Chat, can you hear him?
When I'm doing headset checks, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, hooked on phonics worked for me.
They still don't hear us. Dave just said,
Nope. Dave just said okay.
Now he said yes.
Yep, we're good
Jason
now.
Blaylock said yes. Okay.
All right,
so
let's shut it all down and start over again.
Let's not say we did.
To recap what you all missed, Tim's 18 plus repeaters. We'll leave it at that for now. And he was recently honored with the Lifetime Achievement Award, Tennessee Broadcasters.
Tennessee Association of Broadcasters. Yes, they select 2 individuals every year for their Lifetime Achievement Award. It is not voted on by the general membership of the Tennessee Association of Broadcasters. It's voted on by a select committee, of which wasn't revealed to me. But the thing that meant the most to me about that was it was my peers. It was people that are in the same industry that I've been privileged to work in.
Awesome.
Excellent, excellent. And Chad, I do appreciate you letting us know about the audio issues. It would have been a very boring show if y'all were just listening to me talk.
Yeah, because I don't do sign language. Can't help you there.
No, ASL doesn't work here.
All right. Well,
I only know a few signs.
Yeah, some of which aren't good for TV.
Exactly.
I was going to say, we probably shouldn't use some of them, Michael.
Yeah,
Just saying, yeah.
let's not do that. Tim, you've been licensed, at least by my math, and which is Lenore City math, so it could be garbage math. You've been licensed for 52 plus years.
That's correct, yes.
What moment defined your path more than any other?
Oh, if I had to say just one moment, I would say that it was the time, and this was before I was actually driving. I was 15 years old. Jerry Purviance, who's since is Silent Key, he was in for SH, came to my parents' home, picked me up, and took me to Chilhowie Mountain, where 14694 was located, and I met George Shaver, who I would later work with and who was one of my repeater mentors, and got to meet him, got to see the repeater, got to see what was going on, got to watch George work, and while I had been on HF for some period of time before that, I would have to say I was completely enamored with that trip. And again, wasn't even where I could drive there myself. But at 15, that pretty much set me on that path.
Well, we got a question here from the chat, Tim.
What's in the chat here?
Terry says, I grew up listening to the legend that was John Ward, voice of the Vols.
Yes.
Mr. Barry worked with him.
I did. I worked with him directly for 6 years, from 92 to the end of his time in 98. Before that, before 92, for about 2 years prior to that, I did most of his basketball broadcasts because the gentleman who was at that point in time doing those games had other obligations. And in the summer of 1992, the then manager of the Vol Network, Edwin Huster, called me on the phone and said, John would like to have you as his full-time engineer. Are you interested? And I will tell the gentleman, Terry, since he is familiar with this and what a big deal that was, that's the only job I never talked to my wife about. I just took it immediately on the spot. Never regretted it.
Well, Ward and Kessling, they both have done excellent work over the years, but it takes somebody with a lot of talent and a lot of know-how to make them sound great. Go ahead, Dave.
That's it. A lot of people don't realize you got these great announcers, great even in the world I came from back in the 80s in bands. Your sound engineers, they're the ones that make you sound great. I don't care how good you think you are, how great you sound. It's people like Tim that actually are the ones that make you sound great and make everything go off right.
Well, thank you. It's been a privilege for me. This is year 34 with the Vol Network, and have a couple of basketball games next week.
Wow.
Which I'm just going to get this out of the way right now. Go Vols. Just going to leave that there for my folks that watched it want to argue in the chat about football and basketball stuff. Just
Josh, we may be the only two.
He has. Oh no, Terry Bailey. Because I'm a Sooner fan, Tim. And,
I got you.
And this all started back when the football game happened. And Terry likes to try to give me a bunch of deal about it. And all I got to do is say to him after that game, that's coming from a Vol fan.
Tim, you credit George Schaefer as your mentor. What was the hardest truth he ever told you? One that changed you in your mindset.
The fact that when the repeaters are working great, you're at the top of your game. People are appreciative. When the repeaters do not work well, you're the disgusting and hated individual because you haven't made it work quicker. I was on the other end of that very early on in my hammer career, and I remember making a remark on the radio one time that I've regretted since then, and that was 50 years ago. is that, a lot of folks, while they're cognizant of the fact that somebody has to put time and effort into that repeater, there also has to be investment expense wise. If my wife knew all the money that I had invested in repeaters over the years, I'd probably be divorced. But George was pointed out to me that, when it works great, you're the hero. When it doesn't work great, you're not.
Yeah. I've got a question based on that kind of. I've got a repeater myself here in Wisconsin that I've set up and used. It's a Yaesu DR2X as well, and I know you've owned repeaters for decades, and so what is the most misunderstood reality of owning and maintaining them, and what do you have for any words of advice from me, who's a fairly new repeater owner here in the Wisconsin area? It's kind of a dead zone. There's not a lot going on. And so, I mean, I haven't heard anybody besides myself on it yet, but it's also, again, it's been up for 2 months. So,
there was a joke made in the local Coordinator Repeater Journal years ago when I put my first 440 repeater on the air. The joke was the repeater has two users, Tim and his scanner. Yeah. So I'm familiar with that.
Number one, you have to take time to get more people used to it and know that it's in the area.
Absolutely. Number one thing I would say is don't skimp on your antenna. Don't skimp on your feed line.
I've got a DB240 on there, or 224, whatever it is, something like that. 2 meter.
Yeah, DB224 is a 4-element dipole style antenna.
Yep, that's what I've got.
I happen to use the Sinclair version of that's very similar on my VHF repeaters. Don't skimp on your antenna. Don't skimp on your feed line.
Yep.
2 reasons. Number one, this is going to be a long-term investment for you. You're going to have that antenna and that line on the tower in the air for a long period of time.
My goal is
to do that, either yourself or someone that if you have a friend that does it, or you have to hire out someone's got to climb the tower or the building and install that equipment. Those guys, unless they're volunteers and they're friends of yours and you all work it out in other ways, like adult beverages or whatever, you're going to have to pay them. To give you an example, when I put the repeater on the air that I have on the air from Windrock Mountain, which is northwest of Knoxville, it's a 3,600-foot mountain. That tower trip cost me $2,400. I put a brand new antenna up and I put brand new feed line up because I'm paying for the antenna, the feed line, and the tower climber. And I don't want to have to 6 months from now, if I put something up that is, for lack of a better word, substandard, have to go back and do it over. So absolutely. That would be my first. That would be my first piece of advice. Anything on the ground, whether it's whether it's something wrong with your repeater, your duplexer, your controller, whatever, that is a whole lot easier to deal with than something up in the air, and unless you just happen to climb.
Yeah, absolutely.
And as you can tell by looking at me, I'm a little old for climbing.
Yeah, I'm not climbing, but I think I don't know what your age is, and it really doesn't matter. But my last
66.
guy I had a guy that was climbing that just climbed the tower at 71.
Well, good for him.
Absolutely.
There's not enough money or alcohol, I can tell you.
Oh yeah, for sure. I couldn't do it myself. There'd be no way. But it's been all 100% out of my pocket expense. And my wife probably knew exactly how much I really spent on it. I probably would be divorced too.
With the exception of club repeaters, where the club, part of the club dues and maybe even special fundraisers help support that. Most of the time repeater owners are doing this on their own. I'm very fortunate and blessed that I have been supported and supported well at times. And for that, I am extremely grateful because as Josh may get into a little later on in the program, I had a tower fall in 2022. I had a 140-foot tower up on a piece of property that I own in Blount County next to the Smoky Mountains that fell to the ground in a thunderstorm. Oh. And while I was able to get some grant money, the better portion of the funds for that were covered by GoFundMe, a GoFundMe account that was set up, and by private donations. And it had that not happened, it would still be on the ground today.
Oh, and I can attest to that. Even though we're a club, I think we got 27 or 28. We got like 17 repeaters there in the link system. Our Hamfest is strictly a fundraiser, and we still have to do fundraisers to support it. A lot of people don't realize what it costs to keep a repeater system going.
Well,
absolutely.
Are you talking about the Dave? Are you talking about the SMLRS or the other one?
SMLRS.
Okay.
As Marvin mentioned his antenna, he mentioned a DB224 and feed line.
Mm-hmm.
I have a friend who is a two-way dealer and does this for a living. And so he allows me to purchase things when he purchased things to get the discount. I don't know what Marvin spent, but I can tell you what I spent for an SD224 the last time I bought one, and it was $1,400.
Yep. I fortunately have a friend in a good place that was able to kind of give me this one on a donation, which really helped out a lot.
That's great.
Yeah.
Well, now you know what it was worth.
Oh, I know what it was worth. I priced them out mainly because I was looking at having to buy one. He goes, "Hey, I think I found one for you sitting back in a warehouse somewhere." I was like, "Oh, thank you."
That's a great friend indeed.
He's got a screaming deal on half-inch LDF4.
I did. I got a screaming deal on that too from Mr. Tortoise Overland over there. So between those two things, that saved me a lot of money. So
indeed.
Yeah.
But that's an investment that you will have up long term and that you won't have to worry about. You'll go through more repeaters than you will antennas.
Okay. Good to know.
So what separates a repeater owner from a repeater steward? You don't just build them, you shepherd a culture. I know we talk about, your what is it, AUP, I think it is, or UAP?
Acceptable use policy. That's on my website, which I don't know if you can put that up on your chat screen somewhere or something, Josh, but if you would, that'd be great. Or if not, I'll just go into my shameless self-promotional mode and say it's WB4GBI.com, mycallsign.com. The reason the acceptable use policy came along was because I had one individual in particular, but he wasn't the only one, that while on the air using my repeaters, drop down into some behavior that we as hams don't need to encourage or promote or tolerate. Remarks were made. At some point in time, some of the repeater conversations degraded down into shouting and name calling and things that just not good for ham radio. Now, I know that happens on other frequencies. We all know where they are on HF. The difference is here, when somebody is doing that on your repeater or the repeater that you're the trustee for, that is the equivalent of them being invited into your house. They're using something that you have invested in time, blood, sweat, and tears to get that on the air, and they're visiting that just like they would be visiting my shack behind me here. And you want to make them cognizant of that. I'm happy to say that for the most part, those problems have passed. We've had a couple of flare-ups on some nets, but those were handled and handled quickly. Control operators are your friend. You'll not be able to listen to your repeaters 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. You want to monitor them. Over to my left over here is 2 computers with 8-channel sound cards that record all of my repeaters 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Somebody calls me and said, "Hey, did you hear what happened on 9-4 last night?" I can go see what happened and I can check it out. And if a control operator didn't intervene, then that's my chance to go have a conversation with the person involved if it becomes necessary. But that probably, I can't say it's a full-time job. Obviously, it's not. Ham radio is a hobby. We all know that. But when you become the trustee of a repeater or the owner of a repeater, it takes your ham radio involvement to a different level. And if you're as serious about it as I've been for all these years, you want to make sure that they're the best they can be.
Absolutely. And in your AUP, it has, I can't quote it because I don't have it pulled up in front of me, but it says something to the effect of, use the repeater like you've been invited into somebody's home.
Exactly.
That's a very interesting thought. Explain that a little bit more, because ultimately it is your license on the line.
That's correct. not only do I have my amateur radio license, I have what the FCC calls the general radio telephone license. The predecessor to it was the first class commercial. Up until I'd say it was the 80s, late 80s, the FCC issued 3 classes of commercial licenses. I got my first class commercial when I was 18. That's how I make my living. I also have some commercial systems that I'm steward of that I use in my broadcast business when we're producing a football broadcast. And, all of those licenses could be on the line if my ham license became in jeopardy. Because if you're not familiar with how the FCC operates, if they go out on a investigation involving an amateur radio operator and he has more than one license and his ham license happens to be in jeopardy for, whatever problem that it may be, then it's not just your ham license. It could be your GMRS license, which I have. I have a GMRS repeater. It could be your commercial license. It could be licenses for equipment that you are the contact person for. And that, while I've never felt like I got that close to a problem, it makes me very mindful that while this is the way I make my living, amateur radio is my hobby. It's what I do for fun. And I've got to make sure that what I'm doing for fun doesn't incite a problem with the commission that then affects my ability to earn a living. Did I lose everybody?
Did we lose Josh?
No,
it just helps for me. It helps for me to not mute my mic for some reason. Anyway.
thought it was me.
Anyway, and absolutely, and I think a lot of times what we call quormers or jammers and that kind of thing, they don't think all that through. I don't even think it's necessarily about not caring. I don't think they realize the livelihood at stake.
One of the hardest things I've ever had to learn to do, and I would say this to any repeater owner or anybody that uses a repeater, if you hear people, as we call it, quirming or jamming or whatever, don't engage them. If you engage them, you are feeding their fun. I hate to say this, but if you have to sign off, sign off. If you can ignore them, if they're not, taking out one of the signals that you're involved in the group with, ignore them. And I'm as guilty as the next guy because the very first thing I want to do is go find my control radio and get on the control frequency and chew them out and turn it off. I've just fed their jollies. And it's a hard thing to do. And I'm the world's worst at it. But eventually, either one or two things are going to happen. They're going to get tired of doing what they're doing because they're not getting the reaction from everybody that they want. Or number two, in the case that happened here in Knoxville not too long ago, they get caught and exposed.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. We had that problem on ours, and we got one popping up on one of the other link repeater systems out here now. But when ours started, he was shutting down nets, shutting down emergency communications. And so we got donations, and our club was lucky enough to get the donations to get 3 Krakens. And all we did was put it out on the air that we now had Krakens up. Well, he must have done some research and found out what they were. Because
there are 2 other individuals, one of which is a fellow repeater owner, and another is a gentleman that I have lunch with on a pretty regular basis that have Doppler units. Mm-hmm. And it's just a good thing to have.
Yep. So we've actually got 3 Kraken units that, if need be, we actually put them up on some buildings and was trying
that's great.
That way.
That's great.
But disappeared, so we've taken them back down out the building, but we've actually got 3 of them that we can put on vehicles, and those Kraken units, we'll find them pretty quick.
Indeed.
I'll share a little story recently, and Tim knows this. Well, of course he does. It was his repeater. Tim and I have the same employer, as everybody knows, University of Tennessee, and I'm on campus every day. Tim is as well. And during the afternoon drive, people like to gather on his 9.4 repeater. It's just probably the best repeater in his arsenal, I'd say, at least the most popular.
By far, that 9.4 covers. That's a huge coverage area.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Back in the summer, or right as students were moving back in, we had somebody that wanted to play with the DTMF tones and click their radio like it was a Morse code key or something like that. And it kept happening for a few days. And then finally, one day, I flipped to reverse, and buddy, he was blowing me out of the water. Out of the water. So I'm sitting at a stop sign on the main drag there on the campus, and I look up, and lo and behold, there is a kid that looks like he just enrolled, maybe a freshman or something, just moved in, had a Baofeng in his hand, or at least some sort of an HT. So for you Quormers, you never know. You never know. I failed to take a picture of him, but when I called him out, I literally picked up the mic and said, I'm looking at you. You're wearing this particular item of clothing and orange shorts or something like that. And I said, I know exactly where you are now. And he looked up like this and then took off running. So we have not.
By the way, I have
since.
that audio stored.
Yeah. we have not heard him since.
No, I have not.
So
have not.
Thankfully,
those are the exception rather than the rule.
Yes.
Yeah.
Those are. You're very much right on that, Tim, because usually on that situation, they might disappear real quick then, but now their fuel is ignited to, I know I've got them now, so I'm going to keep going.
Yeah, I think when I described him to a T, I think that's what freaked him out. I think that's what freaked him out. So anyway, it's a fortunate thing. A lot of times these are kids that don't understand the implications. It's as simple as that. Panelists, you got anything for Tim? Don't everybody talk at once.
Who? Oh,
I drew a blank. I had a question for him, and because you said that, Josh, I drew a blank.
it's a CRS.
I understand that one.
Well,
So
Tim,
here's a question that Josh has kind of gotten out of the group, and it's one of those I've kind of got interested in myself because repeaters used to be social hubs. Now digital text-based communities compete. And how do you keep RF relevant? I mean, I know that 9.4 is a busy repeater, but again, mine is not as fairly new. It's a little slower, but I want to put it out to a couple of clubs and say, hey, this repeater's in the area, just so you know, and see if that helps. See if increase some usage of it. But I know there's a lot of traffic during the summer that comes through here, but they're not necessarily ham radio operators. But I know I'm picking up some traffic from my APRS, which shows there's some people traveling not far away that could probably hit it. So again, how do we kind of keep the RF relevant and keep them active?
Well, I can't give me a moment here to kind of compose, but we in East Tennessee are blessed to have what I consider to be a disproportionate number of active hams. I have traveled to areas where, quite frankly, there were repeaters but no activity. I can't put my finger on why. Has the advent of cell phones and digital technology changed that? Sure, it has. But in our area specifically, we border the Great Smoky Mountains National Park.
Right.
It is, of course, one of the larger parks, in the United States.
Right.
And as is the case with most national parks, there is no cellular coverage.
Right.
Several of my repeaters get good amounts of signal into that area.
Yes, they do.
That is one of the, I guess, for lack of a better way to describe it, a selling point of why to have ham radio, because as soon as you enter the park boundary, not too long after that, your cell phone is going to be a really nice, expensive doorstop. If you want to be able to communicate ham radio, whether it's through a repeater, whether it's through HF, whatever it is, and to somewhat of a lesser extent, GMRS, if there happens to be a GMRS repeater in that area, those are going to be the only ways that the average person is going to be able to communicate. I say by average, are there satellite phones? Yeah. Priced one lately. It's something that is advantageous for us, The other thing that I would say as far as repeaters being active is, and I'm not sure how you quantify this, but a sense of community. Josh mentioned the drive times. That's a period of time if you have a significant commute from home to work, and of course, a conversation with your spouse is going to be, "Hey, I'm on the way home. Do you need anything?" "No." "Well, I'll see you when I get there." You're not going to have a long conversation with them because you're going to do that when you get home. Right. So in the meantime, if you got a long commute, you're either listening to music of your choice, either over a broadcast radio or over a stream that you've made, assuming you have cell service. Or if you want to engage with folks, hey, let's get on 2 meters and talk to guys. And, I know there are a lot of folks that also travel with HF. I guess I would say the thing that makes 2 meters advantageous is you're actually talking to someone who's in your local area. Somebody who, could either be across the interstate from you or across town from you. Eventually, over time, if you live in that area, you'll make friends. You will, become a group, if you will. And the guys that are on my repeaters regularly all know each other. They talk to each other. They know about their families. It's, "Hey, how was your day today? What did you get into today?" One of my dearest friends is a technician for the state of Tennessee statewide 7-800 system. And he's on every morning. He's on a lot of times during the day when he travels, and he's on in the evening. There's another gentleman who owns his own on-site automobile mechanic service. On some of my other repeaters, there are folks that do air conditioning and refrigeration. So there's, people, as we all know, there are people from all walks of life in amateur radio. And that being the case, you get to, hear a different perspective on things. You might get a chance to ask someone a question about, something going on with you, like, for example, the gentleman who is on the air that's an automobile mechanic. I actually asked him if, a couple of questions about a problem I was having with my truck that he was able to help me with. So that, to me, the sense of community is what's there. Some of my repeaters are not as busy as others, but the ones that are busy, they have a community. I have one of my repeaters that's inhabited pretty frequently by police officers, either presently employed or retired. And that's a great group to be around. So I guess I would say the sense of community is probably the, long answer short.
Right. Thank you.
Certainly. And again, if you're just putting one on the air, one of the things I've noticed when I put a new repeater on the air, particularly if it was one of the wide area coverage ones, was you'll get this whole inrush of activity. "Oh, we got to check this out. This is great. This is new. We got to check it out." And then, maybe over time that sort of dies down. So another thing that just came to mind, and I'm sorry if this is a long rambling answer, is nets. My opinion, nets beget activity. Whether it's for, whether it's for something like Skywarn or handling traffic or an ARRL Aries net, or whether it's just a get on the air, have a roundtable chat kind of net. Either one of those brings activity to your repeaters. There are people that have told me they don't like nets, and that's okay too. But particularly, let's say, for example, if there's a weather event around here, my 146.94 repeater becomes the Skywarn repeater. There are people that are on there that are listening not only to the weather reports, but to their fellow hams to hear what is going on around them. And that's activity that I couldn't have otherwise. So I'm honored that Skywarn chooses to be on my repeater for that reason.
Yeah, that's a good idea to just kind of start a net, if nothing else. And, maybe if you just start talking on it more, somebody else will pick it up and go, "Oh man, look at that. He's doing a weather net. Look at that." It's like,
when particularly with your new repeater, after you've publicized it and maybe gone on social media, or maybe through your, if it's a club in the area, if you let them know, every time you have a chance, get on your radio, whether it's in your car, whether it's at home with a portable, whatever, get on the air. WB4GBI monitoring.
Yeah, I do
Eric,
that quite often. Yeah,
Eric
I'm out
KJ4. Eric KJ4YZI. He's got the Ham Radio Concepts YouTube channel. He put out a pretty good video regarding this topic just the other day. That one's worth a watch. Talking about basically, just people who get upset these days because hands are just getting on to literally just have a conversation. It's kind of a dying aspect of repeaters, and it really shouldn't be. That's what they're there for. So
I 100% agree.
Really good video about that, and I really liked his thoughts there. But I mean, literally, it's so hard these days. Even with big repeater systems around here, it's so hard just to get on, put out your call, and who knows if you'll get a call back or not. It's hit or miss. It's very rare, and in some cases that you'll hear somebody come back, and if they do, all they want to do is exchange a signal report and tell you, hey, yeah, you're full quieting in the repeater, and then that's about all they want to talk about, and no real conversations. And I think that's a dying aspect that should be revived. And it
behooves those of us who are regulars. If we hear a new person on the radio, hey, what's your name? Where are you located?
100%.
What do you do for a living? Are you traveling through? We get because Knoxville borders Pigeon Forge, Gatlinburg, and the Smokies. We get a lot of travelers through.
Yeah.
I have to say that the group of guys that are on my repeaters are welcoming. The ones that border the tourist areas in particular, they'll be. Okay, where are you traveling here from? How long are you going to be here? If I catch someone on like that, I'll usually remind them of repeaters that are in the area that will help them. If they're going to be staying a while, I'll remind them of nets. If there's a net that's going to be on the next few days, particularly if it's one that if it's a check-in and social kind of net, this happens at this time on this night. Come join us. Activity begets activity.
Yeah, I don't know if it's one of your GMRS repeaters or not, but actually W4OPS was down there for a while, and he started a Thursday night trivia net. And as far as I know, I think it's still going as of today.
It's on the air right now.
Okay, yep. So they do that trivia net. He started that a number of years ago, which is pretty cool. Overall, so I mean that drives activity as well because people get interested in that type of stuff.
Activity begets activity.
Yeah, absolutely. Like you said, one question from the panel from the group was, "What is the most eastern repeater that Tim has in Tennessee?" Terry Baylor is inquiring.
The most eastern. Oh, let's see here. Make sure my geography's good. Right now, the most eastern one would be the 146.73 repeater that's on English Mountain. English Mountain is in Cocke County. Cocke County borders North Carolina. The repeater is at 3,600 feet. It is a GE Master 2 repeater. Happen to be partial to those. It covers west into Cumberland County on the Cumberland Plateau. It covers east. I've used it on Interstate 24. 26 going south from Asheville. It goes north into the Tri-Cities area, Johnson City, Kingsport, Bristol, goes south down to probably Athens, Sweetwater, somewhere in that area with a mobile. That's the easternmost. I have plans for one that's a little bit closer to the mountains that I can't talk about right now.
There you go.
I got a question for you, Tim. You're
Certainly.
a repeater owner, and I'm with a club that we've got quite a few. Do you link any of your repeaters, and how do you do your linking?
Well, the only one that I have linked that is significant is my 444.3 repeater. It's located on Bluff Mountain, co-located with my 146.94 repeater. It has a SCOM 7330 controller in it, and thanks to the efforts of Stephen Brown, it has All-Star, IRLP, and EchoLink. So those are all internet-based amateur services that require internet for their linking purposes. I do not RF link my repeaters. This goes back some time ago when that very same repeater was linked to one in Nashville. The link controller on the Nashville end had a problem, and it kept cycling my repeater. My repeater would come up, and as soon as it would come up and then the hang time would expire and the transmitter would drop out, it would key it back up again. This went on for a number of hours. Unfortunately, I did not catch it in time, and it cost me a $1,400 PA. Since that point in time, by my choice, I haven't linked them. I've been asked about it, and there were a couple of good suggestions that I would consider if I did that, but it's just my personal choice not to. The other thing that particular experience brought me to fruition with was have your remote control on a separate frequency.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Be able to turn your repeaters off, command them to do whatever on something besides the input. Now, the FCC has changed their rules and made that where you can do that now if you like, but take it from one who's been there the hard way. Do it separately. Mine are controlled on a separate UHF channel that's on a splinter frequency with a DPL tone.
Oh, I agree with you 100% on that, because that's the way ours is, our system, and we can control. We can cut them out pretty quick. If we have a problem with a repeater, we can shut them down pretty quick. Yeah, we've got All Star and Echo Link on repeaters, and we do utilize those. But our link system, which isn't all of our repeaters, our link system is also the backup emergency system for what's the N0 NWS repeater system out here for Skywarn. Well, our system actually reaches, we can go from Joplin, actually over in Kansas and Oklahoma, almost to St. Louis with this repeater system. And that's why we do it that way. And our trustee, he has figured out the way to do it with RF to do it right. But what you were talking about, we used to have, when I was in California, they had all those problems. And I know several guys that burn up quite a few repeaters because of that.
There's a gentleman in town that's a fellow repeater owner that has, I think it's 4 of his 2-meter repeaters linked. They are all, like I said, they're all on 2 meters. And he has a UHF hub system that feeds them. And that's about all I know. I, obviously not tried to pry into his business. They seem to work well. And I know he's got control over them. He can separate them out if need be. That's just not a pathway I went down.
Greg,
next question. Greg, I have one more question.
Sure.
Your repeater systems, do you stick strictly to VHF and UHF, or do you have?
I have one on 6 meters. I don't have anything on 10 meters. I do have a repeater on 900 megahertz. I've got a 220 repeater that's behind me over here that's waiting to go to the mountain. That was on the air for a while and then off, and I moved it to another site, and that tower work is pending along with the tower bill. And as soon as the antenna is up and the line is installed, then I'll get it on the air. So it's 6 meters, 2 meters, 220, 440, 900, analog, P25, D-Star, DMR, and Fusion.
Your DMR and D-Star, are those? Well, you already said the Fusion one was a Yaesu. Are you using like ICOM or Kenwoods, or are you doing like we do? Well, even our Fusion, we're using Pi-Star boards that go in the repeater to do our Fusion.
I've investigated that. I actually have an MTR 2000 on this other side of this cabinet over here that I was investigating putting an MMDVM board in for that very reason. The D-Star repeater is a true ICOM repeater. It's the earlier generation, not the newer one. And it's done very well. Haven't had any issues with it. The Fusion is Yaesu. My DMR repeater is a Motorola MTR 3000. And I'm working on a second DMR repeater that will be at a different site. The one that's on the air now is UHF. The one that I will be putting on will be VHF, and it will be most likely an MTR 3000 as well.
One of the questions from the chat just came up from Hockey Ham. What can we do to help support Tim's repeater addiction?
It's like a drug. Oh, it's like
donations
a drug.
Are always good. I'll take
donations are always
anytime.
Donations are always good.
Mm-hmm.
I purposely do not get on the air and solicit money for the repeaters. I don't get on and panhandle, for lack of a better word. I
Right.
just don't feel like that's in the spirit of ham radio. I'm fortunate to be able to do, as Josh mentioned, first off in the broadcast, some contract work that allows me to help feed my repeater addiction, feed the addiction, buy the drugs. But the best thing that people can do, one of two things, if you can support it financially, and I'm not just talking about me, I'm talking about for those of you that are watching this program, any repeater that you use, whether it's a club or whether it's individual, ask the guy, what can I do to help you? Sometimes in my case, it's been, hey, I'm tied up at a ball game broadcast and this repeater's got a problem. You know where the site is. Can you go up there and do something for me? And it takes a drive and some time and access to the site. I might need to transport something up there. If you have a vehicle or have some way to take something somewhere, offer to do that. The biggest thing for me is I just do things as I can afford them. The tower falling that I mentioned earlier in the program set me back a long way. The total cost of that project, according to the gentleman who helped manage the financial part of it for me, was well over $120,000.
Wow.
Yeah. That was for a 140-foot self-supporting tower. The purchase of the tower, as most of you well know, towers take a foundation. A self-supporting tower takes 10 times the foundation that a guide tower does. Excavation, concrete, rebar, the template for the tower itself, the standing of the tower, all of that had to be considered. And I was super, super fortunate that there was some grant money that came through, as I mentioned earlier, but a large portion of it came from a GoFundMe account. And then I took out a loan. I took out about a $15,000 loan that I used to pay for the rest of it. Now, if that's not addiction, I'm not sure what is, but anyway.
Well, Tim doesn't know that I'm going to do this, but I've actually part of bringing him on tonight. Tim has given a lot to me. Tim's really, whether he wants to admit it or not or whatever, he's pretty much given me my career, and I'm eternally grateful to him for that. And in turn, if there's one thing that I can do for Tim to try to help this, is I've got a graphic there on your screen. If you feel so inclined to help support Tim, obviously now in debt because of that tower, but some of the expenses, you have tower rent, you have power bills monthly, in some cases you have internet bills monthly at these different tower sites. If you feel so inclined, instead of giving super chats here to HamShackTV, because I'm not interested in super chats tonight, mark that down. That's the first time I'm going to say it, and probably the last time I'm going to say that. But if you feel so inclined, you can see on your screen down below here in this lower third, Tim has a Venmo at HamRadio WB4GBI, as well as PayPal tberry1 at gmail.com. And Tim, if you didn't know, that I was kind of coordinating with Jordan behind the scenes on that based off of your phone call yesterday.
I'm well aware of the phone call, and thank you for that. I'm eternally grateful. I will say that the tower loan is paid.
Oh, good.
It is. Good. The tower loan just recently was paid off, and some of that, a lot of that. Well, there's one individual group that sent some money in that uses the repeaters for one of their nets that sent that in a few days ago, and I'm eternally grateful. I don't want this to be about me asking for money. I won't do that. I will not. But the people who have contributed, everyone gets thanked personally. If I have a way to get to you via an email or a return address or what have you, I will send you a thank you, and I'll tell you where your money went. There's always, at least in my world, there's always a project to work on. The latest thing was one of my repeaters had a failed power amplifier, and it was a GE Master 2 PA, and I found some online and bought them. You mentioned recurring expenses. The power bill at the top of the world site where the tower was rebuilt is about $90 a month. The internet up there is about 65. The internet for the DMR, D-Star, and the Echolink IRLP All-Star repeaters at Bluff Mountain is $90 a month. I don't get on and make a habit of mentioning this because I just don't feel like, I mean, we all are in this. We have time and money invested in it in our various ways, and I don't want this to feel like I'm asking for money. I do what I can as the budgets allow, but somebody that does that, I'm extremely grateful, and I try to make sure they realize where their money went. So thank you.
No, absolutely. I just want to make sure that, Hockey Ham, ask what they can do to help support you, and glad Josh had this available, to be able to do that because, yeah, I mean, kind of being again beginner, I know that there is that cost that is associated with it, and it does add up over time. So it is, very much appreciated, and yeah, it's not about asking for it, but it's nice to know what it kind of takes to run it. And
with the advent of the cellular industry, vertical real estate, tower space, has become a prized and valued commodity.
Yeah.
And tower holding companies are generally not in the business of supporting amateur radio repeaters. I have one of my repeaters on a commercial tower, and the only reason it is still there, most likely, is because it was there a long time before they were. I put my first repeater on that tower in 1981 when it was still privately owned. And I have a signed lease document with them. Everything's great, but I never know from one day to the next when I'm going to get the phone call on a tower site that I don't own that says you got to go.
Right.
We're in places where there's not towers available. There's tall buildings, and that real estate is valuable too. Just a point to ponder. Our repeaters work well when they're at a place that is high above average terrain, HAAT. If you work in this industry long enough, either in broadcast or in two-way, that's a term you're going to get familiar with. High above average terrain. The higher, the better. And those sites are valuable.
Right.
Very, very, very much valuable. And like he said, because we had it happen. We were on a county tower. They didn't even give us a full 30 days. They just all of a sudden decided that they wanted us off the tower, and we had less than 30 days to get everything out, plus our antennas.
Unfortunately, at a mountaintop site that I had that literally bordered the Great Smoky Mountains, I received a letter from a lawyer, and I had 10 days to get out.
Mm-hmm.
God bless.
And it's not like, I mean, a lot of people don't realize it's not like they're going to go up and get your antennas and your feed line and all that stuff off it cost to send somebody up to do that.
Absolutely.
Work. And when you're on commercial towers like that, or county-owned towers or state-owned towers, unless you are a bonded climber,
exactly,
you can't touch that tower.
Exactly. Yeah. That's exactly right. The gentleman that I use had a very thriving tower business as the cellular industry built out, and he actually retired. And at that point, I wasn't sure what I was going to do. That was the $2,400 experience that I told you guys about earlier, was when he was not doing work anymore. And about a year or so ago, I'm very happy to say he called me and said, "I'm bored. Have you got any work for me?" And he still had his insurance policies, and I've used him not only on some of my amateur radio projects, but at a couple of broadcast stations. He changed out a broadcast antenna for me very recently that is up and running and doing great. Tower guys aren't cheap.
No, they're not.
Mine's $1,000 a day, and trust me, that's a bargain.
No, they're not, because I used to climb towers.
When you said $2,400, that's usually the lowest price we can get to get somebody to go up our towers.
The repeater that I have on Cross Mountain, which is one of my other wide area coverage repeaters, the antenna was damaged when the tower bent over on itself back a few years ago. We thought that at the time the tower was still in good, that my antenna was still in good shape, that it could be reused when the tower was rebuilt. We put it back up. I did contribute, by the way. It was a commercial two-way venture that had that particular tower, and I contributed to purchasing a section of tower out of repeater funds because they had graciously allowed me to be there, and I felt like that was the least I could do. So I bought 2 sections of tower for them. When they put it back up, they put my antenna back up. The antenna had problems. It was defective. So here starts the chain of events. I buy the antenna. The gentleman that I'd used for years as my tower climber had retired. So I selected another company that was up in Kentucky that I had familiarity with to install the tower. He unfortunately, it was an SD224 for those of you that are familiar with it. He unfortunately installed it with one of the driven elements, one of the elements of the antenna touching the mount of the tower. $2,400 worth. My friend that got back in the tower business had to go back up at another $500 to correct that problem. So these are just some of the things that you run into. And like I said, I don't get on the air and make a big deal out of this, but it's the nature of what we do.
Yep. Well, and we've had that problem, and even with tower climbers, they make mistakes.
And certainly.
But the problem is you still got to pay them to go back up and fix
Exactly.
that mistake again.
Exactly.
We got one here in the chat, and I'll let you touch on it, and then I'll comment a little bit on it too, Tim.
Sure.
He said, are repeater owners that are in the same area good friends, or do they look at each other as competitors? For example, Kevin Duplantis, George Odom, and yourself. So he was Terry was directing that at you.
Okay. No, I don't look at him as a competitor. Kevin does what he does and does a great job at it. I can't speak for him. I hope he would say the same for me. Kevin moved to Knoxville years ago from New Orleans and started with no repeaters at all, and has built a great network. His repeaters are linked, as I mentioned earlier, and he has quite a few that aren't. He participates in the M-Tiers network, which is a statewide network of UHF repeaters that are all linked by RF that are there for weather-related activities. I would say Skywarn and also emergency communications. It does a great job. So no, yeah, we can learn from each other. Kevin has helped me before. Kevin and I actually are in the same profession. We're both broadcast engineers. On a football Saturday, when I'm doing my part with the Vol Network, Kevin is the RF frequency coordinator for Neyland Stadium, and he coordinates the frequencies of all of the equipment that's in there. For example, each radio network sideline reporters, the TV sideline reporters, the TV parabolic microphones, the wireless mics for the PA, for the band, for the local networks that have reporters on the ground. He coordinates all that RF. So competitors, no.
I don't think I could do that job.
Yeah, I'd never realized that Kevin did that. That is a mess.
Yeah,
I actually recommended Kevin years ago because I was approached to do the job myself, and I did not feel like I could adequately do that job and also take care of the actual game broadcast. So I recommended Kevin for that very reason.
Yeah.
And I can't speak for all the repeater owners all over the United States. Kind of like Tim was speaking in Tennessee's area. With us, our repeater council, we actually work pretty good together. We don't consider ourselves competitors. We try to help everybody out. I mean, even with our coordination, we're just out of VHF frequencies in the state.
We are here as well.
But we actually, the individual repeater owners, the clubs, we all try to work together, coordinate, help each other out, because sometimes it takes the whole group to get maybe one person's repeater back up. They'll reach out to somebody. Hey, I've got an antenna for you. Somebody else, I got new feed line for you. So the way we would look at it is we're all doing the same thing to provide a service for ham operators in the state of Missouri. So we try to work together.
We in Tennessee, along with North Carolina, South Carolina, Kentucky. By the way, if you guys hear something in the background, that's somebody doing ICS message over one of my repeaters. I should have turned that down. Sorry. This here, Tennessee, Georgia, Mississippi, North and South Carolina, Virginia, and Kentucky are all participants in the Southeastern Repeater Association, SERA. I was an SERA frequency coordinator for 15 years. And as you mentioned, Dave, the 2 meter band's full. It's full and overflowing. If someone was wanting to put a new repeater on the air, at least in my area, I would strongly recommend 220 or 440. The only way that 2 meter frequencies come available is, unfortunately, if somebody decides to shut one down, or heaven forbid one of us passes on. That's just the way it is, because that when repeaters started becoming prevalent back in the late 60s, early 70s, that of course was the band that everybody started on, and now you've got 40, almost 50 years of population where it's basically just filled up. There's only, so much of mom's apple pie that you can take before the pie's gone.
Hey,
oh,
Tim,
I know what you mean, because even here, even 440 is getting low on frequencies. Here you'd have to do 220, 900, or 1.2. Really,
coordination is the key. Coordination is the key for all of us, not only my repeaters, but everybody else's, to be able to be on the air, not cause interference, and serve the area that they're intending to serve. At one time, when I was coordinator for SERA, the SERA made an investment in coverage software. They as an organization literally bought coverage software that's used in VHF land mobile radio to be able to support that, so that if somebody says, hey, can I put this repeater on the air with these coordinates at this mountain and cover this area? Okay, here's what you're going to cover, and here's what you might interfere with if you're getting into the coverage area of your co-channel or your first adjacent if you're on 2 meters. We don't worry about that so much on 220 or 440 because the adjacents are wider spaced. But, if you're 12.5 kilohertz off of somebody and you're 10 miles away from them, you're going to cause a problem with them, or they're going to cause a problem with you. And it's last person in who is responsible for dealing with that problem, or at least it is here. So, yeah, coordination is the key. If your coordinating body does that, more power to you. If you have to do it in an area where you don't have a frequency coordinator and you work by gentleman's agreement, please do that. Your fellow repeater owners will appreciate you for doing so.
Exactly. We have a large problem up here, Tim, with repeater coordination, because there's some hams that have been holding on to repeater pairs forever, but they don't have a repeater on the air.
Paper repeaters.
What's that?
Paper repeaters.
Exactly. Yep. And our other biggest problem is down on the Cape, we can't have V8 or UHF repeaters because of PAVE-PAWS, the radar site. So, we're at least in my neck of the woods where I'm at now in southern New England, it's if somebody wanted to put up a repeater, there's nothing unless you sit there and listen to a frequency pair for months to make sure that it's empty, and then it's almost like first come first serve. You just hop in there and go.
Well, when I was a coordinator, we had a situation south of Knoxville, down toward the state line, where the gentleman that owned the repeater passed away. There was some amount of, shall we say, conflict over, okay, here's this repeater. The gentleman who owned it passed away. Who does it go to? Well, one of the things that SERA did is they created an alternate contact in the coordination documents. And they also created, for a situation where a repeater was a quote unquote club repeater, but was all the finances, all the time, effort, money was put in by an individual, they created a portion of the coordination called a holder of record. And those two things have helped in that. Another thing that SERA has done is all the coordination renewals are now done online. When I was coordinating around September, October every year, the repeater organization sent out a mass mailing of coordination documents to every repeater owner in their served area. All those states that I just mentioned a few moments ago, you can imagine how happy we made the Postal Service. Now those are all done online. And as part of your coordination, you're told that every year you need to log onto the website and certify your repeater. As a matter of fact, I just got through doing mine a few days ago. So you've got to be able to keep yours current. And if you're not current, if you don't keep your repeater coordinated, then there's no reason at all why the coordinating body can't assign your frequency to someone else, because that's the policy of the coordinator. And once again, in a situation where it's coordinated versus uncoordinated repeater in the eyes of the commission, the coordinated repeater is going to be the one that wins.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, that's the same way here, Tim. Exactly like that, because, and we don't do it our repeater council don't do it every year here. They do it every 2 years, where they go and verify every repeater that's still online. And if they send the letter out and they do not get response, and that repeater's not online, and they don't get a response back, those pairs go back into the pool for
time
somebody
passes,
else to
things
get it.
change.
Yep, exactly.
Yep.
And like you said, with you, like with us, VHF, the pairs are hard to come by. So
Indeed.
I mean, it's
Indeed.
If you're not utilizing them, you don't have a repeater on the air. We got somebody that actually wants to put a repeater on the air, then we're going to take the repeater pair back and put it back with them.
Yeah. Some states have, and Tennessee, the SERA coordinated states are not one of them, but some states have what they call a backyard repeater pair, which allows you to place a repeater on the air. And you do this on a non-interference basis, but you're not coordinated. So it gives you a chance to put something on the air, and hopefully a frequency opens up that you can move to. We don't do that in SERA territory, but I know there are some states that do.
That's kind of where I'm sitting right now with Wisconsin. Is that there was a repeater that was up, it went off the air, it's not dead. It was literally probably 10 to 15 minutes from me, and so I kind of was reassigned that one, and I'm using that, and they haven't came back and said anything different for now. But literally, John Kirk said, "Hey, if you, I'll come do it myself, and I'll reprogram your repeater if I need to." But he says, "I think you're going to be safe with where that's at." So
reprogramming the repeater won't be the problem. If your move is too far away, tuning your duplexer will be a problem.
Well, tuning the duplexer. I mean, that's what I really meant was tuning my duplexer. That's what he'll have to do. So,
gotcha.
We had a backyard repeater, just over the line in Rhode Island, and the guy said, "Can you put this pair in for me?" And it was backwards. Low was high, high was low, and UHF. And I said, "Yeah, but you're gonna have problems." He's like, No, it'll be okay. No, it'll be okay. About 2 months later, he got an email from a repeater club in Connecticut that says, "Your input is our output, or your output's our input, and you need to fix this." I said, "Dude, I told you."
and something I'll mention here, and we all probably are aware of this, but maybe some of our newer hams are not. A lot of repeaters are tone access. Motorola calls it PL. GE called it channel guard. The formal name for it is CTCSS, right. Continuous Tone Coded Squelch System. I ought to get a point for that on a quiz. The point being is, in the cases of interference like this, people will say, well, you can add tone and that will make their interference problem go away. No, it will not. That RF is still living in your front end, and you will still have problems if anyone accessing your repeater has a lower signal strength than that interfering signal. I will also tell you, and it probably makes me old school for doing so, but the majority of my repeaters are tone squelch, are carrier squelch. The majority of my repeaters are carrier squelch, particularly the busier ones. 2 reasons. Number one, it's travel friendly. Somebody comes into this area and they dial up 146.94, they hear my guys on the air, they can join them without having to worry about if they have the tone programmed right or not. Number two, if there's an interference problem, either from a co-channel user or an adjacent channel user, guess what? With the tone off, I'm going to hear it.
Yep.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. That's a great. That's a great
I
strategy.
see some questions in the
Excuse me.
chat.
Yeah, I'm about to grab those questions.
Hockey Ham, and I don't know if I missed some, but I caught this one because this is actually my favorite frequency in VHF UHF. But Hockey Ham asks, why is 220 1.25 meters such a quiet band? No repeaters available to set up? Lack of radios?
Lack of radio.
Probably lack of repeater equipment. There are still some radios around, but I'll give you an example. The 220 repeater that's behind me over here is a Bridgecom. Bought it new. It replaced a converted Motorola Micor that one of the Repeater Builder, if you're familiar with that site, one of the principals of Repeater Builder built that. Truthfully, I wish I had that Micor repeater back, and I'll probably at some point ask him if he can build another one. The Bridgecom repeater is 2 mobiles, and for those of you that aren't familiar, mobiles with the heat sinks on the back of them tend to be able to dissipate less heat over an extremely period of time than, say, like a heat sink like this behind me. That results in PA failure. The number one thing that goes wrong in a repeater is PA failure. If you own a repeater, keep fans on your power amplifier. Keep them in a temperature controlled building if possible. If you can't, for sure, make sure that you've got forced air cooling. You probably can't see it, but there was a fan deck right here that was forcing air on this PA for the whole time that it was on the air. Keep those PAs cool. Coolness is next to godliness in this case.
Does that also configure for the DR2X?
I think if memory serves, the DR2X has a fan on the back. I don't remember if it's temperature controlled or not. In my case, I chose to run my DR2X at 5 watts power. I'm not running it at either mid power or high power. For that very reason, less power, of course, is going to be less heat dissipated. And I did that for a reason. The Crescendo amplifier that I have on it has 2 large size fans,
Big
something
fans.
like this on the back of the PA that's going to keep it cool.
Gotcha.
I think that was the biggest downfall of the XPR 83 and 8400s because
It was.
The cooling on them is just terrible. It was one fan, but it couldn't draw air from the front very well.
Yeah, a fan has to circulate, and I never had an 8300. There's an 8400 that I take care of. It's not mine, and I worry about it. My DMR repeater is an MTR 3000, and I should probably knock on something that's wooden when I say this. That's a Southern tradition. But it's been on the air now for since, oh my gosh, I was still at WIVK radio when I put it on the air. So it's been on the air for at least 8 or 9 years.
Nice.
And still going strong.
Yeah.
It has that Motorola power supply on the side with a large fan on it.
Right. We've had Connect Plus systems that we just took down in Eastern Mass. We had a 900 Connect Plus system. And you know that the control channel is constantly transmitting.
Is on all the time. Yes.
You know, and I tell you what, the MTR 3000s are a tank. They are an absolute tank, except for that stupid little capacitor.
We had an 800 megahertz trunking system here that I was one of the subscribers of. It was a 5-channel trunking system, and its ultimate failure was the fact that it was desk track repeaters with off-brand market PAs.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
That's
and
terrible.
it sadly didn't last.
Yeah, we're going to go down a rabbit hole, Josh. Take this.
Oh, this is fun. This is a blast.
So another question. Oh, go ahead, Josh. Sorry.
No, I just wanted to note one thing real quick verbally. I haven't had a chance to note this. We're already an hour and 18 minutes in. Tim, I don't know if you've got any time restrictions tonight, but
the only thing I have restrictions is my bride said she was hungry.
Oh,
This
no,
might
that
this
takes
might end
precedence.
soon.
Going to be a
then.
late supper.
Well,
This takes precedence.
the beautiful thing is we are knocking down that subscriber number. We are now down to 13 left. So if you haven't,
13.
That's great.
that's all we
That's
need.
great.
13 more subscribers, and we'll hit
Baker's
10,000.
dozen. Let's go.
There's a lot of you watching tonight that haven't watched before. I know that because the view count is quite high. So I'm very thrilled about that.
Well, let me say that I'm honored to be your guest, Josh, and also for those of you who may have seen the promotions last week, let me apologize for not being available last week. And unfortunately, Josh had to scramble a little bit because my cancellation was a couple of days out, and I again was terribly sorry for that. So I'm glad to be here tonight.
I'm glad you're here.
Tim, if you want some really screaming deals on some MTRs, come up to Nearfest in New Hampshire this spring, and I will make sure that I have some MTR 2000s and 3000s sitting there with fixed power supplies for you.
That'll be great. That'll be great. Could use one for it'll use at least one, and I actually have one over here that's been modified for the low split of 2 meters. That is my backup repeater. It used to be on my 145-17 machine, and now it just sits here ready to be programmed and taken wherever. I can't always, because of work responsibilities, get to repeater sites as quickly as I can when something goes out, but I try not to make it a long period of time.
Well, I've got UHF and 900 all for you.
Great.
If you can get up there, that's the only caveat.
Biggest problem is I'm involved with Tennessee men's and women's basketball broadcast until when their tournaments are over.
Yeah, that's true.
And that pretty much takes up my weekends.
Well, this is Thursday, Friday, Saturday. It's Nearfest. It's in April. If you need any MTR stuff, I ain't shipping it because that stuff weighs 100 pounds.
It does, and I'm kind of leery about shipping something like that because I'm sure we've all seen the videos of workers at the various shipping services taking things and going, and you don't want to do that with a piece of equipment like that.
Well, you're not going to do that with a repeater that weighs 60, 70 pounds.
No, but you get my gist.
Oh yeah. Put fragile on it. That's even more.
Yeah.
That's a harder kick.
That's an invitation right there.
That's an invitation, exactly. So another question I want to know a little bit more about is: can you walk us through the shaver touch and what makes a repeater right rather than simply having it on the air?
Well, when asked to do a presentation for clubs, and there's one that I do that I call the care and fitting of repeaters. When you're checking your repeater out, hopefully either yourself or someone that you know that you're friends with or have access to professional test equipment, a service monitor in particular. I have a Motorola R2670 and I have a Hewlett-Packard 8921 as service monitors. Not only measure your power output, that's obvious, with a watt meter. Look at your antenna, make sure that you don't have a high amount of reflected power. Check your desense. Desense is a term that we use that's short for desensitization. What that means is that your transmitter, with the amount of RF that it's putting out and the noise that creates, could be masking your receiver. The best way to check it is with a service monitor using what I call an ISO T. Through from male to female that you would put in line out of your duplexer into your antenna, and the other side, would be the side that you couple your service monitor into. Don't couple your service monitor into something that center pin is there, because as soon as you generate enough signal, your transmitter is going to key up and you've got RF back in your service monitor. That's a no-no. Excuse me, I'm sorry. But check your desense. Desense is the number one cause of repeater issues of any kind. Desense can take the form of your antenna being defective. It can take the form of moisture being in your feed line or connectors. It could take the form of storm damage, lightning damage. It can take the form of your duplexer being damaged, or it can take the form of your transmitter putting out spurious emissions, or spurs as we call them for short, that your duplexer can't deal with. So any number of those can cause descents. A tower, or excuse me, an antenna that's loose on your tower, or even something else that's loose on the tower or support structure that your repeater antenna is on, particularly on 2 meters or 6 meters, where the spacing is so close on 600 kilohertz. Any kind of noise there can cause your repeater to arc. Whereas, you've got the transmitter turned off, you're hearing this guy great on his handheld 20 miles away, but as soon as you turn the transmitter on, it's either archy, noisy, or it goes away. That's the number one thing. And it's easier to check with a service monitor, but if you don't have access to one, have somebody on the fringe area coverage of your repeater with a handheld, and have him take that handheld and key it up and hold it for about 10 seconds or so. Disable your transmitter. If that signal changes significantly, then there's a problem. Then the next thing to do is troubleshoot that problem. The other thing that's a good friend for you is a good 50 ohm resistive dummy load, like a bird. Use that in conjunction with that ISO-T, and if you discover that your repeater has descents, take it off the antenna and couple that output into a dummy load. Then couple your signal generator back in there. Test that. You're going to accomplish two things. Number one, you're going to see if the duplex is within your system. Spurious emission from the transmitter, duplexer malfunctioning, or is it with the antenna and or feed line? The other thing that it will accomplish for you is take that measurement, write it down in dBm, what your repeater 20 dB quiet's at or 12 dB sine ad's at, a reference to that. Then do the same thing with your repeater coupled back into the antenna. Once you do that, you have what's called an effective sensitivity. The reason that is important is if you're in an RF populated area, if you're somewhere where there's lots of stuff around you, this will tell you that something in that area is reducing your effective sensitivity. Now, if you've got one of the repeaters that is 2 mobiles that doesn't have a lot of selectivity, in that case, you may have to add either a high Q bandpass filter or a pre-selector to accomplish getting that RF out of there. A funny story, when I put my D-Star repeater on the air, it went in the building that my 146.94 and 444.3 are in, and that is a building that is shared with a 100 kilowatt FM transmitter. We put it on the air. The D-Star repeater was not working well. The gentleman that put it on with me pointed to the FM transmitter and said, "That's it. That's the problem right there. It's being masked out by that." The eventual cure was that I had to put 3 high Q pass cavities in line to calm that down. But believe it or not, it was not the broadcast transmitter. How do I know that? Because he kept saying this, kept saying this, and kept saying this. I went over and turned the high voltage off on the broadcast transmitter for about 10 seconds. And he looked at me in total shock and he said, "I can't believe you just did that." I said, "Who are they going to call? Who are they going to call that it's off the air?" That's me. We solved the problem, though.
Interesting. Good information to know.
Tim, let me.
So that was a long, detailed explanation, but that again for the average person. If you've never been around a repeater side and you're just joining us for that, this is some of the stuff that we check to make sure that repeater works for you.
Tim, let me ask this. I don't know if as long as I've been in this hobby, I don't know if I've ever heard anybody ask this question, but let's say somebody anywhere, Kansas, North Dakota, whatever, anywhere, they had this itch and they wanted to put a repeater up. It doesn't matter the frequency. What does it take other than time, sweat, and money?
Well, the very basics are a repeater of some kind. If you're putting together repeaters from components, you're going to need a controller. You may choose to have a controller anyway if you're going to get involved in a link system like we've discussed earlier. You'll need either a site in which you can split the antennas, transmit and receive, over a large portion of vertical separation, not horizontal, or you're going to need a duplexer. You're going to need a feed line. And for all of you that are listening, I'm going to say this. If you get nothing else out of me tonight, please remember this. Do not use LMR style cable in repeater service. Do not use Heliax or something of that nature. LMR cable, by its means of construction, will cause you more noise and more arcing and more descents than a defective antenna. And I know this from experience. And any of you guys, I saw Michael nodding his head just a few minutes ago. You know what I'm speaking of. So repeater, controller, either one or two antennas in a split site configuration, a duplexer, and feed line. Those are the basics. Beyond that, a controller of some kind. If you're going to link your repeater, you're going to need some means of linking. As we say, those who in the real estate business say, what makes a repeater great? Location, location, location. A place that is high above average terrain, HAAT. Something that if you're at that building or at that tower site or at that mountaintop property, you look around and you're the tallest thing around for a ways. That's going to make your repeater good.
Can you hook up a controller to the DR2X?
You can. I've not done it, but on the repeater builder listservs and email lists that I've subscribed to, there's a lot of conversation about those. Short answer is yes.
Right,
yeah, Marvin, if you're not on Repeater Builder, their groups.io and stuff, get on it. You'll get a lot of information.
Yeah, I highly recommend it. I really do.
Yep.
It's a daily read for me.
Okay.
Yeah, and you can get a lot of information out of Bat Labs too.
Yep.
What was the second one? I want to write that one down.
Bat Labs.
Okay. Yeah, Bat Labs. Oh, I know Bat Labs. I thought that was something else. Yeah.
Nope,
Bat Labs in particular for Motorola equipment.
Exactly.
The repeater builder has all manufacturers on there.
Yes.
And being a GE guy, I've peeled off quite a few manuals off of there that I didn't have.
Well, and Repeater Builder, you can get some of the old ones because, like, one of the clubs where I'm the D-Star admin, their analog repeaters a tape.
You can take your tape right where you want to. I hate tape.
Yeah,
but you know what? It's one of the biggest coverage repeaters in this area.
Wild.
And Tate, I believe, is also one of the manufacturers that still actually makes low VHF equipment.
Yeah, they do.
There's not a lot of those guys left.
I will say, go ahead.
I'm sorry, Michael. Go ahead.
I was just going to say I admire your choice of portable radios. I use one of those for work exclusively.
This is a Harris Unity XG100. It's VHF, UHF, and 800. Would I like to have a Motorola APX? I would.
Oh, I would love to have an APX, but I use that radio exclusively.
Yep. So do I. And I'd also have to figure out how to afford the divorce attorney.
Yeah. I was going to say, you none of you have seen what Tim's belt looks like on a daily basis, nor what his truck looks like. And his state truck,
This has helped that a lot. This particular radio has helped that a lot. My personal vehicle has 10 antennas on it. I'm not kidding. My university vehicle has 6, and university has decided that I don't need to be carrying my personal radios in a university truck, so they're going to have to go away.
Oh.
Welcome to the government. Welcome to the government.
Oh. Might have to have a conversation with Mr. Boyd about that one. No,
well,
I'm kidding.
I went to high school with Mr. Boyd, but I'm not sure it would help.
Did you really? I didn't know
I sure did. I sure did.
Well, we do have an update. We just got an onslaught of more subscribers. Actually, I just got another update. Y'all, we are within 5.
Oh,
great.
Wow.
Let me encourage you to do it. I have,
yeah.
So you need to as well.
We can do it on this stream, guys. Let's help Josh out.
Right, let's do it live.
Let's get the 5 people subscribed.
If you've already subscribed, get your friends to subscribe.
Tim, are you subscribed?
I am subscribed.
Okay.
Yes.
Michael, are you subscribed?
Oh, that's a stupid question.
A wise man named Bill O'Reilly once said, "Do it live. Let's do it live now."
if you've got more than one YouTube channel, you can subscribe with both.
Oh, and what I didn't get to finish with earlier, for those of you that are joining that are not regular watchers here, the reason we're pushing this subscription thing so big is if we hit that 10,000 next week, I'm giving away a brand new ICOM IC7300. No, it's not the Mark II, but it's still a great radio. I have yes, you can win.
You wouldn't have far to deliver it.
No, I wouldn't. Well, it's going to be drop shipped. I got to thank my friends at Gigaparts. They are supporting this. I am still having to pay some for the radio, but they're definitely giving me a nice little discount on it. So we want to shout out Gigaparts. If you guys want to shop at Gigaparts, you can do it online in your socks, gigaparts.com, and use coupon code HamShackTV. You get double rewards points for that. But appreciate them for helping out with that HF radio giveaway. We're going to do it live on stream next week. So if you're not already subscribed, hit that button. Let's get it done. We are now 4 away. 4 more subscribers, folks. Anyway, sorry to interrupt. Please continue.
But
y'all are doing great running this
you
thing.
Get breaking news. You got to bring this to us, right?
I've got the button right. That's one of the. I will cut you all off and play the clip if that happens. I have the button right here on my stream deck ready to go.
Do you have a new clip for this, or your standard clip?
No, this will be the standard breaking news clip.
No, the other clip don't play no more.
Nope, I'm done playing that. I'm tired of arguing with China on that one.
Hey Tim, have you played with any of the new I call them fractal Kenwood repeaters? They came out of Italy.
I have not.
They're 12 volt. They're low power, but they're multi-mode.
Have not. That's interesting. Didn't know. What's the model number on those?
That I'm gonna have to look up for you real quick. But yeah, they're very compact repeaters, and we had a Crescend amplifier hooked to it, and
one away.
12 volt power supply.
One more.
I'll have to look that up for you.
Hey guys, we are so close. Look at this. Freddie Mac is still at 9.64, so you're going to beat Freddie Mac out of this.
Oh.
Ham Radio Crusader.
Yeah, so, I just had a deja vu moment for some reason. Hey guys,
we're so close. One away.
Well, we got to do it. We got to do it.
Congratulations.
I feel like I'm
well
about
deserved.
to cry.
Very well deserved.
I'm about to cry. There it is, folks.
All right, guys.
I mean,
don't leave tonight. We got a great stream going.
Yeah, if I see that number go back below 10,000, the deal's still off.
Everybody, this will be the next week. You got to make sure you join next week as well.
Okay.
Thank you, guys. Thank you. Thank you for
all.
Josh.
That is very.
I mean, help us get to 10,000 on this stream. What a big deal that is, and I'm so glad to get Josh to 10,000. So
I am too.
I'm kind of shaking just thinking about it because it's so exciting.
Look at that. I'm trying to type it.
I was too. I was just like my hand. I can hold my hands because I'm just shaking a little bit. It's like I'm so excited to have you at 10,000, Josh. Congratulations,
awesome.
buddy. Job well done.
Awesome.
You well deserved.
Congrats, Josh. That was a lot of hard work on your part.
A little over a year, and you've gotten to that point. So it's a lot of hard work and great job.
Well, thanks for sharing that. I see that now.
It's incredible.
You weren't supposed to see that. Josh wasn't paying attention.
It didn't ask me permission. It just did it.
We can share in Zoom, Michael, and everybody in Zoom could see it. It's just not on the stream.
Oh, so can you see this then?
Yeah, I can.
It went up on the stream for a minute, but it's down now.
Here, let me go back. There you go.
So it's a Kairos. It'll do P25 and DMR.
Is this VHF only or UHF only?
VHF, UHF. There's the different models. What do we got here? We've got UHF, we've got VHF, and VHF T-band.
Yeah, two different band splits. Probably won't be as much of a problem on UHF, but on VHF, just be mindful of the fact that you may have to put something in front of the receiver, like a pre-selector or a high Q pass cavity to the receiver front end comm.
Our huge issue with this is we were doing this for a local fire department and police department, and it was new to the market when it came out, and it had a ton of simulcast issues because you can run these simulcast. We had so many issues. We basically just threw it out.
Yeah, I could see terrible. The timing constant there being a problem on simulcast.
Yeah, it was horrendous. Everything is adjustable, but it was horrendous. But it's a beautiful, cute little repeater. Let me go if I can go back. Let me get rid of this.
I see myself. That ain't good.
Yeah, that was scary, wasn't it? Oh, I lost it. Oh well. But it's the Kenwood Kairos repeater. It runs on 12 volts. We were actually thinking about using them as mobile repeaters for fire trucks.
No, we lost Josh.
Yeah. Wow.
No, I'm here.
Okay.
Wow. Yeah, you are.
Gentlemen, I hate to be rude, but wife is telling me she's very hungry, so I may have to cut my visit short. Unfortunately, I'd be glad to come back, Josh, at a later time if you'll have me. Or if there's anything I can if anything I can do for you in closing, anything you want me to wrap up with.
Absolutely. No, I mean, I think you've done great. Thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for having me.
Tim, it was great to meet you. I very much enjoyed your repeater discussion. They're very, very informative. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank
you.
It was great to meet you.
I might have to reach out to you for a couple of questions myself. So.
Okay. My email is tim@WB4GBI.com. If you want to send me an amateur radio related question, or the Gmail address works as well. Try to turn those emails around very quick. For all of you that have watched the program tonight, thank you for your time and allowing me to come visit with you. And maybe if I behave and promise to be contributory, Josh will have me back.
Absolutely.
Well,
I would say I would love to have him back because I think we just touched the tip of the iceberg.
Oh yeah. I think there's a lot. I mean, the audience agrees too. I mean, this is a big stream. There's been a lot of people watching this thing, and that's certainly exciting. But Tim, I'm
very honored by that. Thank you.
I tell you what the honor is for me. Other than everything that you've done for me, the fact to share in this milestone that I hit tonight with you on this stream means the world.
Well,
so thank you.
I'm glad to see you reach this milestone because I know the time, trouble, and effort you put into making this go, and it's great to see you succeed.
Yeah. Thank you very much. Well, come back. You're welcome anytime. You tell me when it's good. I know your basketball's crazy, and then football and baseball and all that crazy stuff. So, speaking of which, did you not have to cover the schedule release tonight?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, the university just releases those as a press release. The only time that I'll be involved in something like that is if they hire or fire a coach. When one of our football coaches left, I was given exactly 45 minutes notice on 45 minutes cold notice that this was coming, and between myself and one of the remote techs that was working for me at the time, we managed to get the press conference on the air, only to have Lane Kiffin give us only 29 seconds of embargoed audio that we couldn't even carry live.
I was going to say next time you come on, I'm going to let you tell that story, but you just told it. So
that's the most interesting one.
Yeah,
that's the most. We got 29 seconds worth of audio out of him, and we couldn't even carry it live. We had to wait till he left.
Yeah. All right, Tim, you better go.
Thank you all for being here. I hope that I was able to share some good information with you, and I look forward to maybe the next time.
Absolutely.
Tim, I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thanks,
that
buddy.
Was great, Tim. Good to see you.
Very much appreciate it.
Ooh, I like this layout. 2x2. That's nice. Yeah. Well, folks, I do want to remind y'all, I'm still overwhelmed with emotion. You can call me a pansy all day long. I don't give a crap. Down here, down below, and again, Tim Berry means the world to me. If you, no one's doing super chats tonight, which I thank you for not doing those. Instead of doing super chats, give Tim a little support. He's got the Venmo at Ham Radio WB4GBI, as well as PayPal, tberry1@gmail.com. If you want to throw him a few bucks, I'm sure he would certainly appreciate it. It costs a lot. I mean a lot of money to do what he does. And Marvin knows, but multiply that by about 18.
Yeah, exactly.
I fully understand what it costs him. And yeah, guys, go help him out. Being the vice president of a club that I think we're up to 27 or 28 repeaters. It is not cheap to keep these repeaters on the air.
I mean, even a new repeater, a cheap new repeater, a 45 watt, say a Motorola SLR 5700, is like $3,500. And that's just above cost. So yeah, repeaters are not cheap.
Somebody's a jerk in watching the stream.
What?
Somebody's a jerk watching the stream.
There's no radio
giveaway
next week.
What a turd!
It'll change, but
no,
gotta be a jackwagon, as I call him.
Well, I've been calling them jackwagons all week in the Discord.
Yeah,
he has been.
We will. Hey, in fairness, we will get that back. I mean, there's no question. We'll get that back. So let's talk about next week. Then we need to start getting ready to wrap up. This has been an excellent show beyond the 10,000 subscriber thing. This show has just been unreal. How fun it's been. Next week, we give back to you. Assuming the 10,000s is back, but hell with it. I'm going to give the radio away either way around it. Next week is our Christmas special, and the folks you see on your screen have graciously agreed to contribute to the giveaway situations next week. So that we're going to have lots of giveaways, and we're going to wrap it up with the grand tamale of giveaways. I'm giving away an IC7300, brand new from Gigaparts. It'll be shipped directly from Gigaparts, so that you know it is brand new, and you will have the warranty and all that good stuff. So here's the rules on that. You have to be present to win. So make sure you're tuned back in. We will, I'll probably for next week, especially because I need to use the giveaway tool, we'll be back on our old platform that we used to use. Those of you that don't, that's behind the scenes talk. Let's just put it that way.
Oh no, this has been fun. I kind of like the reactions and stuff that you can send. This is extremely dangerous, man.
Oh, you're using the Zoom garbage.
Yeah, it's garbage.
Yeah. But anyway, you do need to be present to win, because you will have to enter a phrase, code, something like that in the chat. I'm going to let these guys, with their individual giveaways they're going to do, set the rules and set the magic word and all that good stuff. But you do have to be present to win. And I have been asked this a few times. The big tamale, the HF radio, nobody you see on your screen is going to be eligible to win. So this is a give back to you guys.
I already have a 7300, so I'm good.
There you go.
Guys, even before Josh approached us on this, my intention wasn't to enter this, because you guys are the ones that got him to 10,000. I'm part of Josh's stream, and we have fun doing this, but it was you guys that got him to 10,000.
Exactly.
Absolutely. Concur.
We back.
Yeah.
Well, somebody made it. I have a feeling I know who did that to you, because he made a comment in the chat that says, "Just kidding, Josh."
Okay, he did a lot of camper work for me at a very, very reduced cost, so he owes me that heart attack, he owes me that heart attack. I'll give him that. But
Freaks and Frontiers is asking a question. Josh,
yes,
is
please.
It U.S. only?
Please, U.S. only, because it costs a hell of a lot of money to ship overseas. A hell of a lot of money, and that is, especially considering the weight of that rig, it may end up costing the same price as the radio to ship it, especially, and there's the other equation we got to think about too, tariffs. So I don't want to get into that mess. I appreciate all my overseas friends, but I'm gonna you unfortunately won't be able to to do any overseas stuff.
Yes,
Colin said, wasn't it U.S. postal address only?
Correct. Yes, that is correct.
Because I think Colin said he had a U.S. postal address.
And if you've got a U.S. Postal Service address, you go right for it. I will not argue that one bit.
There it comes.
Here it comes, Josh.
There it is.
Jason Blaylock.
Oh, for God's sakes. Speaking of Jason Blaylock, what about Jason Lockwood?
I haven't seen him in here tonight.
He would be the one that would be fussing about the tutu stuff, but let me throw this up here. There you go. That's the wrong thing. Dang it. Let's do this one. Here we go. For those of you that don't know what we're talking about, Jason Blaylock, does that mean Josh is going to wear a tutu live again? I tell you what we'll do. You get me to 11,000 by next Thursday, I'll put the tutu back on.
There you go.
No, but in all seriousness, here's the deal, guys. We've reached this number. This number I've been chasing for 6+ months now. Please go over to the. I never can get my fingers right. Go over to these guys' channels and get subscribed. It's their turn. We need to get their numbers up. You know, the big thing I would really like to do for these guys is to be able to get them monetized. It needs to happen. They deserve it. They put a lot of work into this stuff. Andy may be the little exception because he's got the World Radio League stuff, and he's
World
probably
Radio League channel. We
there.
just hit 2K subscribers, but yeah, I would love to see 10K very soon.
Yep. Why can I not get this stupid tutu thing to go away?
Because the tutu loves you.
I mean, I will say, you know, in all honesty, I've gained a lot of subscribers over the last month here, and I'm trying to get to 500 before the end of the month myself to be able to do a small giveaway, just to thank those 500 that have got me to the first 500. But you know, my goal is really to get to over that 1,000 mark. But you know, I'm just very gracious for those who are watching, who have been a part of this channel, who have subscribed to my channel. And even last night, 10:30, 11 o'clock at night, I did a quick live stream. I threw out some late breaking news from the FCC on the 60-meter ban. So, you know, I'm always putting out information kind of like that, similar to what Josh has done in the past as well. Not necessarily copying him, but it's just as I come across that information, I want to make sure I get it out to my subscribers and my, you know, get that information out to you guys. Always about being informative and educational, and you know, being entertaining through the podcast as well. So. You know, thank you guys for that. But I'm just grateful that we are, you know, got Josh to the 10,000, and we're looking forward to next week's giveaway for, you know, I've got a little Christmas decor coming next week for me here, and I think it's gonna be a great episode next week. It's gonna be fun, and so yeah, I'm sure we'll have a lot of people watching because of the big giveaway. But you know, it's gonna be a lot of fun, and it'll be a great topic, and you know, talking about Christmas and you know what's up for the year and what's going into 2026.
Yeah. It's going to be a lot of fun. Do you guys want to spoil your giveaways, or do you want to keep it a secret and surprise? It's up to y'all.
I'll hold off for now. I'm still trying to figure out exactly what I'm going to do, but I've got a couple things in mind.
Yeah, I'll wait on mine as well. It won't be nothing major. No. As most of you know, I was involved in that accident, but I'm definitely going to have something for a giveaway on.
I'll throw mine out there. I think Michael's got one too there.
What's that?
Did you have something there?
I'll give a hint.
Okay.
Oh, are we allowed to go for that one, Michael?
That's up to the channel owner.
No, what I said.
No, that's not what I said.
Just not the HF radio, but all the smaller prizes. That's up to the giver.
So I was only joking because at least with mine, and no offense, Marvin, Michael, and Andy, they're the ones that got Josh to the 10,000.
Oh,
so
yeah.
I want it to go to the users.
Oh, yeah, most definitely.
I was just messing around. I'll just reach out to you and have you get me one of those antennas.
No. Here's a little hint. Yeah. But look at the wire. This is that new wire. This is not the Canadian wire. I am actually getting some of that. But this is the new wire. Dude, this is almost as strong as the Canadian wire. But it has a you'd have to go to Reliance Antennas. He's got a description of the actual wire, but it will be a base camp. It will be a base camp. It will not be a bug out. And I will make sure that you only get one color of wire, and it doesn't come with a winder. So, but you will get a base camp mini. They're phenomenal antennas, and I keep looking at Marvin's forehead because it's like right here. I don't know why. Oh, there we go. That's better. But yeah, dude, I gotta throw mine up this week. And it's gonna be opposed to my other end-fed half wave. So I can actually flip a switch here in the shack and actually hear Poto Power in Florida.
Nice.
All right, Andy.
I'll go ahead and throw ours out too. So from compliments of my boss James N0WRL, we will be giving away a ham radio prep all access license pass that includes technician, general, and amateur extra plus the ham radio basics course all together in one package. And in addition, we're going to be doing 2 giveaways. The other one's going to be 1 year of World Radio League VIP membership. So the eligibility as far as if you guys are going to be eligible or not is, if you have a VIP membership already, then no, you're not eligible. If you don't, yes, you are. And same with the with the license courses.
So Andy, are you saying that me and Marvin don't?
You're ineligible. You're
No,
ineligible.
you
Man,
are
those look pretty,
ineligible.
don't they? Don't those look pretty? Those things are awesome. Look at those mugs. That can be that. Just think, chat. That can be you if you just purchase a lifetime VIP membership. You can have one of those beautiful mugs that Dave and Marvin were just showing off there.
I spent all this money and all I got was a lousy mug.
Oh no, we
No,
got
that
a
is
sticker
not all
too.
you got.
Oh, you got a
got
sticker
a-
too? Nice. Okay.
A sticker and lifetime access to World Radio League VIP membership.
Until someday when the servers just go bloop.
Well,
I don't know.
Or
if that's
or somebody buys
showing,
World Radio
but-
League.
Yeah, see, Marvin's got the sticker up there.
Yeah, I had the sticker up there.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yours is upside down, Dave.
Yep, sure was.
Nice.
Funny.
The best part is, though, I have to say, and just in case anybody's curious, the lids, the Yeti lids, will fit this cup, which is nice. So
Cool.
I do like the Yeti lids. So
Yeah.
I don't like
nice.
the Yeti prices.
I don't,
Yeah.
but I still replace these cups with Yeti lids because I like those lids a lot better. I don't have to worry about tipping over and spilling out through the hole in the lid.
That's
so.
that's the only thing I
Levi-
didn't like about
Levi-
this cup, Marvin, was that you can't close the lid.
Yep.
Levi said to send you a World Radio League notepad for the day when the servers go down.
Right? That's funny.
No, we don't intend for that to happen anytime soon. That's for sure.
All right, let's not go over because I know we all need to kind of chat in the after chat here.
I need to go to bed.
Last week we went 41 minutes over. We're not doing that this week. But
Can I throw just a couple of World Radio League updates?
oh God,
at you?
yeah, Andy, I totally forgot about that. If you want to, if
No,
you need,
no,
if
you're good,
it's
you're good.
verbal, go ahead. If you need to share a screen, go ahead. That's fine too.
Okay, sounds good. I think I can cover it all verbally, but if I need to share something, I will. So, we just dropped Cat Control version 1.0.7. This thing's got a ton of great enhancements in it. We have the new indicator light, so if your radio's connected within your logging interface, not just the Cat app, but in the logging interface, you'll get an indicator light showing you that you are connected and using Cat Control. I've done testing with this. I've done testing with Flex. James and Brad have been testing with their radios, and it works beautifully. So make sure you upgrade to Cat 1.0.7. Let's see here.
Let's see what happened. Go ahead. We should be live now.
Okay.
That's weird.
So, yeah, if you look at this lookup as I'm entering these call signs, it's always keeping the lookup with the last user here.
His video's not
So-
shared.
It's delayed. It's there.
Oh,
Go ahead.
There it is. Now it is.
Okay.
Yeah, sir.
All right. So yeah, I can put one more in here. I'll put James and N0WRL. Oh, there we go. If I can spell straight. And then see, it's just looking up the last user. Put in, frequency, and then 0. I can put them all in a park. Oh, this is our.
The VHF contacts are the ones that you make when you can't complete your contacts in a park.
Right.
Yeah. There you go. I'm just doing this for an example. So anyway, you log this, it logs all of them. Just boom. And this is in beta right now, so there's going to be a little weird thing like that popped up. But yeah, go check it out. Go try it, break it, tell us what went wrong, so when we push this thing live, it'll be perfect. So
yeah, that'll make multi-ops better.
Yes, that will be so awesome for chasing.
Hunting multi-ops
exactly like he said. Multi when you're hunting multi-operators.
Yeah, for sure. So our holiday sale is live right now. So we've raised the price on our lifetime membership a little bit, but it's not at full price right now. It's still at a sale price. So go check that out. Let's see here. We've got another feature in progress where you can, like, if you're in another, I get these mixed up. Is it ITU zone or IARU region? It's ITU zone, I think. If you're in another one, that's not the same band plan as us, you can hit a button and lock your mode so that it doesn't switch when you change frequencies. And you just lock it on whatever mode you're using, and then you can set your frequency, and it won't, automatically switch that up, if you're using a different band plan. So that's in progress. That one will be ready to test soon. We've just released a new feature where this one I might have to show this one too, just because it's easier to explain that way. Sorry, Josh. I'll wrap. I'll wrap quick
Terry,
after this.
It's in beta right now, so it's. I don't know that he said it's not live.
And the comma separated logging is in beta. Yeah. So this is this new feature that is live. You can go into let me pick a different logbook because I don't want to mess up my POTA activation. You can go into a logbook here and go in here, change your operating location, and then you can click this check mark and apply it to all existing QSOs in your logbook. So it just does a bulk update right from here without having to go into QSO Manager just for an individual logbook. So that's just a quality of life improvement. It just speeds up. If you logged a bunch of contacts in one logbook in the wrong location, you just switch them real quick. It's really cool there. Another feature in progress that's going to be hitting beta soon is an all contacts map. So it'll probably show up right over, let's see here. Probably show up right over here by QSO Manager. It'll basically be you can click this all contacts map and then filter it down just like you filter down QSO Manager. You can filter it by logbook, by band, by mode, by searching call signs. You can just filter it however you need to, and just generate a map of any specific block of contacts you want to generate. That one's going to be a lot of fun. And other than that, we've got just a lot of performance improvements and a lot of fixes on the back end. And we are, as of I was telling the guys earlier, as of 10 o'clock this morning, our adaptation phase to the new database is complete, and we're moving on to maintaining that status and working on new features. So we'll be cranking these out like crazy now. So sorry to run us over, Josh. I just wanted to get a few of those updates out there.
I hate paying overtime rates, right?
Oh yeah, you're gonna. I know. Yeah, you're gonna pay me at least 3 times what you pay me normally, aren't you?
What was it?
You're right, Josh. It's double time that you're supposed to be paying us.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, absolutely.
Everybody gets double.
2 times 0.
It's called prevailing wage, sir. Prevailing wage.
You get paid 2 times 0 instead of
prevailing wage on YouTube is 0.
Yep.
Yeah.
let's do a quick around the horn and get out of here. What do you say, Marvin?
Yep.
What do you got coming this week?
You know, I've got a couple things on my plate, but I don't really have them offhand. I'm hoping to actually I'm probably going to actually put the antenna coax into my truck and get that actually installed now, so I can get my HF antenna mounted. But I'm going to show people another alternative to removing your antenna mount on your truck and how you can use that for a POTA activation. And so that's going to be one of my videos will be coming out here pretty soon in the near future. But other than that, it's kind of preparing for Christmas holidays. Probably going to be a little slower. I did release 3 videos this week already. One kind of a live stream last night for some breaking news on the FCC on the 60-meter ban, and then 2 other videos just came out. So go check them out on my channel. One was about World Radio League and how to integrate that with Flex and the logger and using WSJTX as a standalone program. And then the other one was about my antenna 65-foot tower install that's behind me outside. So, and something super excited I played with today I was able to get my 65-foot camera, my tower, sitting on the top of the tower at 65 foot. I was able to get that up and working actually. And man, that thing has an awesome view. So my goal, and this is completely sidelined, is I'm hoping to put it up as a weather cam and try to figure out how to RSTP stream it. RTSP, yeah, that's right. Stream that camera so it's be visible anytime. So
you need to stream it through FastScan TV on ham radio.
On ham radio, there you go. Yeah, that might be a little slow, but yeah, that'd be kind of cool. So trying to figure out how to set that up properly and get that put out as a full-time feed so you can view it anytime. So it's a really great view. It's phenomenal. It's how much I can see. I mean, it's like I think I could probably pick up cars across in the Mississippi on the other side of the Minnesota. So it's crazy.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
It is.
Everybody go check out the Ham Radio Guy podcast on YouTube. Make sure you hit that subscribe button over there and let's get some numbers.
Or find me on podcast. Anything Apple platform, iHeart, Spotify, Google Cast. I'm on all those platforms for podcast as well. So
absolutely. Super Dave, you're next.
Hey Josh. Well, kind of trying to get through the end of the year and get this stuff finished with the car. I'm working on a couple of videos, and I will be going live this weekend. One of the videos I'm going to work on probably tomorrow night, since he dropped the new cat control and talking about the light, I'm probably going to make a new cat control for World Radio League and virtual ports with Win for Yaesu and Win for ICOM. But this weekend, the 10-meter contest, I am going to be going live. I'm just not sure which time. So you'll see World Radio League in action with contesting.
Cool.
Other than that, just trying to get through the end of the year. And I will tell everybody, after the accident, kind of really makes you think about things. You're going to start seeing a lot more videos on my channel. I'm going to start taking more time to do the stuff I enjoy and not do as much as my regular job. I still won't. There'll still be times that I won't have time, but I'm not going to. I'm going to start working to live and stop living to work.
That is some of the best wisdom I've heard all night. And we had Tim Berry on, so that says a lot. Let's go to Tortoise Overland. Oh, by the way, everybody go KE6GAE, the Hellbill Ham. Make sure you're subscribing over there. Let's get these numbers up for these fellas. Tortoise Overland's next. What's up, Michael?
What's going on, people? Well, just going to off the air there, we had a little discussion, and definitely like what Dave said, not live to work, but work to live. I don't know what the fancy schmancy stuff that he just put through here. But you know, I mean, not all of us can live in the lap of luxury as a hillbilly ham. So with that stated, I dealing with a boatload of depression the last 3.5 years, which was just lifted yesterday. So yeah, I'm definitely going to be running some more videos and getting some more stuff out. Might do something this weekend. It's going to be cold here in New England this weekend into next week. So there might not be a whole lot of outdoor stuff, but definitely going to be trying to get some more stuff out. I want to get my subscribers up. I want to You know, I don't want this to be a job, but I want this to be a hobby within a hobby. If that parlays there, you know, I could care less if I'm making anything off of it. I just want to have some more fun and get some stuff done. I've got 2 in a can. I'm gonna finish editing them off this weekend. Maybe by Saturday, I'll have 2 videos out that are just sitting here, and go over some stuff in my truck. Maybe, I don't know. I'm feeling frisky. What say you?
Feeling frisky. I don't even know where to go with that.
You know,
I'm not touching it.
I think I'm gonna leave that one right there.
I do want to say one thing live, Josh. It's been a fun ride, man. As Dave said, you know, he goes awesome part of the ride. You know, and it has been a wild adventure. It's definitely had its ups and downs. It's definitely had its clubhouse moments. But yeah, it's been fun. So hopefully we can have some more fun into this new year.
Yeah, absolutely. And don't say it's a wild ride. That makes everybody think it's coming to an end. It's not coming to an end, guys. We just got started.
Oh no,
Like,
it's
One
gonna
of those
get
roller
wilder.
coasters that don't stop.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I do
We'll
want to
have
say
our ups
thank
and
you,
downs.
Josh, for giving us this opportunity. This
yeah.
started as kind of an off the. I was thinking back to how it started. It's kind of funny. It was just kind of off the cuff. One night, everybody ended up on the same stream at the same time, and it's just it's gone from there. And it's been a ton of fun. So thank you for letting us be a part of this.
Well, I mean, the pleasure's all mine, and I've got to mention Terry here. Terry with Tango. I ain't got to say that all night. It's now on to 50,000. Where in the world are we going to be when we hit 50,000? I have been told by my YouTube friends, my bigger YouTube friends, Jason, Josh, Mike. I know you're watching, Mike. Things really take off when you cross that 10,000 threshold. So I'm excited to see what's going to happen coming around the bend here. Andy, you're next.
Yeah, absolutely. Got a just this week. I've got a new rig in the shack, and I'm going to be setting it up with cat control once I get my new digi rig in. And I've shipped off my my poor attempt at a repair. I shipped it off to the north to get repaired professionally. My Kenwood is en route to a radio repair. I think one of y'all might have actually recommended them. I can't remember for sure, but anyways, so they're my Kenwood TS570D is getting repaired, but I've got a new ICOM IC756 Pro in the shack, Pro 3. It's a very, very nice rig. I really, really like it, and I'm happy to be playing with it. Yeah, so been crazy busy with World Radio League, ham radio prep stuff. We've got some exciting things, very exciting things coming up very soon. And been doing a lot more POTA activations because I've got a mobile rig set up now, so I can do that. That's been a lot of fun. Yeah, and Marvin was talking about his tower. I'm not doing anything quite that extensive, but I do have a 33-foot mast I'm putting up outside my shed.
What type of mast did you decide to go with?
I ended up going with top rail, fencing top rail. It was the only thing that was like readily available, was light enough to do what I needed to do, yet heavy enough to be sturdy enough. Anyway, it all landed right. So
yeah.
I'm in the process of getting that put together. Got the mast put together. I just got to get some antennas on it, get the guy wire set properly, and get it hoisted up in the air. And I'm really excited about that. So, yeah, that's what's going on with me. Go subscribe to the Ham Radio Prep and World Radio League YouTube channels. Shameless plug. Get some great ham radio content over there. Josh.
Shameless plug. When you do go to Ham Radio Prep or World Radio League, make sure you use coupon code HamShackTV. Get 10% off. Plus, it helps the channel. So do that, especially while all these specials are going on. Andy, I did want to remind you of something I said last week when we were talking about the top rail. Word of advice: drill a hole near the base of that so that the water can drain out of it.
Yep.
it's
And
a
put a
tube
brick
all the way
underneath it.
through. So
it'll still collect water, especially when the mud and the dirt cakes up in the bottom of it.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Well, that's why I just said
above
put it on
ground.
a brick. Put it on a brick.
Yeah, that's
you won't
good.
have the mud
actually
and
going
dirt
to
in
be
the bottom.
It's actually suspended above the ground quite a ways because it's on a. I've got it on a pin into a post that's buried in the ground. So it will. Yeah. It's going to be a tilt mast. So
That'll work
fancy.
very nicely. All right, fellas, we got some business to do, and I don't mean play the clip. So we're going to go. I'm going to go ahead and finish out the goodbyes here. I will see you guys in Zoom land here in just a minute, so we can plan for next week. Let me see here. How do I do this? There we go. All right. So it's now it's my turn. And I'll probably make another video after this, just so the non-streaming audience can get a chance to see this. Guys, tonight is just... It's been an incredible ride. Yeah. I started this right before the Huntsville Ham Fest in 2024. And... just to have some fun with it, and it rapidly grew. It rapidly grew. I would have never imagined I would be at this level by now, and we're on this rocket ship heading to Mars, I think, right now. I'm excited to see what's coming in the future, and yeah, all I can say is thank you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart, my family's heart. You not only are you supporting the growth of this channel, you're supporting my family too. Even though I do have outside work. So once again, thank you so much for everything, for all the likes, the subscribes, the comments, even the haters. Thank you, because even the hate comments, that helps the YouTube algorithm. So anybody that's ever interacted with me, thank you. Stick around, guys. There's no telling what's coming in the coming year. Don't forget to tune in next week, 8 o'clock. Must be present to win all prizes. We're going to give away the farm next week. Make sure you're here. We'll see you next week, guys. 73 AA4WX WSCB 693.